And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. UFC 311 final prediction, starting the year off with a banger. Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan. And then the co-main event, Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Merab. Prochazka taking on Jamal Hill. And then after that, Moicano taking on Dariush. Kevin Holland taking on RDR. Who do I think is going to win these damn fights? We're back, ladies and gentlemen, starting the year off with a banger. UFC 311. Now let us start with the very first fight of the main card. We have Arman, Kevin Holland taking on RDR. Now, RDR is a gentleman I am very familiar with because I have spent my last few years in one championship and I've seen him fight. He was one of the double champions in that organization by beating Allah in both his division, the middleweight and the light heavyweight. Now, he did lose to Anatoly Malikin, which that man is an absolute monster. And then he makes his way to stateside. He makes his way to UFC. He has his first UFC debut. He wins that very clunky way of how he won it, but he got the W. Now he gets a true test against Kevin Holland. Now, when we look at Kevin Holland is a fan favorite. Reason why? Because this man, all he cares about is going out there performing and getting his black ass back home so he go hunting. If you guys haven't heard him on the Mighty Cast, go back and listen to it. It was an absolute amazing episode. Now, when you look at this fight, RDR needs to get this fight on the ground. That's where he does his best work. He is a jiu-jitsu guy, and he's going to be looking to get the takedown against Kevin Holland. If he's able to get there, he's going to have to hold Kevin down so he can get a submission game going. Now, when we look at Kevin Holland has fought the best of the best. He's fought Joaquin Buckley. He's got a win over him. He's got a win over Jacare, he is another phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioner. He is all about being active, and I think this is a good fight for him because RDR is not the best on the feet. He is tough. He's a big boy, but we know he wants the fight to the ground. So the biggest key victory for Kevin Holland is to defend the takedown, keep the fight on the feet and light him up. So who do I have winning between Kevin Holland and RDR? I'm gonna go with my boy Kevin Holland. I know what you guys are gonna think. I'm going for him because he's black. Well, yes, that's true, but I also think Kevin Holland is a better athlete. I think he's fought in this division a lot more. He's fought the best of the best, and I think RDR hasn't really made that adjustment in the UFC and fighting at the more natural weight at middleweight. So let us go to the next fight. Show me the money. He cannot afford to lose, not then, not now, not never. And I think that this man is going for the belt. Moicano taking on Dariush. Now, I feel Moicano is a dark horse. I feel this gentleman is starting to come in his own. He is good everywhere. He can stand on the feet and strike. He's got great grappling, great wrestling, and he's also durable. When he fought the Tarantula and Tarantula dropped him, the ref didn't stop the fight. He won on his butt. He got back up and kept on fighting and ended up finishing him. So that's something that you cannot teach. You cannot teach heart, and you cannot teach a man who can't afford to lose. Now, we look at Dariush. He's kind of, I'm not sure how I feel about Dariush. I felt at one point in time he was doing very, very well in his career, beating out a lot of top contenders, and then he got knocked out by Arman Tsarukyan. But I think this is a big fight for both these guys because I feel Moicano is on a great streak, and I think if he beats Dariush and beats somebody else, I think we could see Hanato getting his opportunity to touch gold and having one of those biggest paychecks that he's ever looking for because he can't afford to lose. Now, when we look at the keys of victory for both these gentlemen, Moicano, he's got to be what he does best, which is he cannot afford to lose. That's the only key to victory he needs, because when he knows he can't afford to lose, you know he's going to bring the stand-up. You know he's going to bring the grappling. You know he's going to bring the wrestling. Now, we look at Dariush, he's got to keep Hanato guessing the whole entire time, because once Hanato gets and figures out where he needs to be and where he can be successful, I think it's gonna be downhill for Dariush. Now, who do I have winning between these two gentlemen? I can't lie to you, boys. I'm gonna go with Moicano. I know this man can't afford to lose because he tells everybody and his mama he can't afford to lose. I'm gonna go with Moicano. And you know what else is gonna be dope, ladies and gentlemen? PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports game where you can play directly from your phone. It's very simple. All you gotta do is go to the App Store, download PrizePicks. When you do that, make sure you use my promo code MIGHTY. Cool promotion going on right now. All you gotta do is play $5, you're going to win 50 bones. And UFC 311 is right around the corner. And they have the picks out, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going to lie to you guys. There's a lot that I'm liking. Now, when we go to the takedowns, that's very interesting. I like less 4 takedowns by Islam. I truly feel Islam and Arman, they're both great wrestlers, and I think they're going to do everything in their power to not allow the takedown to happen. So Islam's got to land 4 takedowns in order for me to not get that W on that square. So I like less on that. And then even when you look at Umar Nurmagomedov and Merab, it's very hard. They think 2.5 takedowns are going to be landed. So 3 takedowns. You know, Merab, I like, you know, when he fought Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist, flyweight champion, bantamweight champion, I did not think Merab was going to be able to take him down. That man took it down 5 times. So if you think Merab's going to take down Umar Nurmagomedov more than 3 times, then you go with more. If you don't think he's going to land a takedown, you go with less. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab, 92.5 significant strikes. I like less on that. I feel Umar Nurmagomedov is very strategic about how he throws his strikes. Even when he fought Corey Sandhagen, I don't even think he broke over 60 significant strikes because he's very calculated about how he went about fighting. And Merab also does a good job of not taking a lot of damage. So I like 92.5 significant strikes. Ladies and gentlemen, PrizePicks is very simple to use directly from your phone. Go to your app store, download PrizePicks, use my promo code Mighty, quick promotion. You play $5 and you're gonna win $50 no matter what happens in this lineup. If it's your first time signing up, shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let us get back to the final predictions. Yuri Prochazka taking on Jamal Hill. Now this is a very interesting fight in the light heavyweight division. Both these guys got put to sleep by Alex Pereira. They both got put to sleep by him, and they're both looking to get themselves back to title contention. Now, Jamal Hill has, run into Potan at the UFC PI. They didn't fight, but I think he has a ambition about himself that he wants to get that fight back. He thinks he can do a lot better than Khalil Roundtree did and when he did his last fight. But you have Yuri Prochazka. Yuri is a very interesting case because everything that Yuri Prochazka does isn't by the book. The way he trains, the way he locks himself in a room, no TV, no stimulation. I have no idea where that comes from, but it might be his old samurai ways. But when you look at this fight, it's very interesting because I feel they're both unorthodox. I feel like Jamal Hill is the better athlete he does things a little more sound. To Yuri, he has his hands down, he's moving like this and shit, and he's like throwing jabs like that. It's very unorthodox. So I think the key to victories for both these guys, when you look at Jamal Hill's got to be an athlete. He's got to go out there and take the fight to Yuri Prochazka. Don't get caught up with the things that he does with his hands and his movement and up and down and the backward elbows. That's all. You can find holes in that game, just like Alex Pereira did when he threw the high kick. I talk about this all the time. When you have a guy who fights down here and he's inside the void or close enough in the void where you can hit him, you throw something at his head, he has to take his hands from here and they have to come up and they have to block. If they don't, then he's going to get kicked in the head. If he does go up to block, then you stop him, you freeze him, and you can do something after that. Now, when you look at Yuri Prochazka, do what you do best, Yuri. Be unorthodox and clunky because a lot of you got all the way to the world championship and become a champ by doing that style, by being unorthodox and just doing awkward shit. And it works, right? So those are my keys to victory. But if I had to pick somebody to who's going to win this fight, this is a tough one. One man is driven by revenge and conviction. One man is driven by the way of the ocean and the waterfall and the samurai code. I think in the day it's going to come down to whose anger is going to build up more. And I feel Jamal Hill is very angry, and I think he truly wants to get that back. So, I'm not going to go Jamal Hill because you guys are going to say, I'm picking Jamal Hill because he's black. Newsflash, motherfuckers. I'm going to go Yuri Prochazka. I think Yuri Prochazka is going to beat Jamal Hill. I feel like any one of those guys can win the fight, but since you guys always be saying I'm only picking the black athletes, I'm going to go ahead and pick Yuri Prochazka. Now let us go to the co-main event. We have Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Merab the Machine. Now, this one is probably the hardest fight to pick on the card. The reason why is because both athletes are extremely good. Now, when I take a look at this, I'm thinking more with my mind, not my gut, and not with my heart. When I look at Merab needs to take down. He needs to come across the void. He needs to smash. He needs to get on everybody. You look at all his fights. You look at his fight with Sugar Sean O'Malley. You look at his fight with Peter Yan. You look at his fight with Jose Aldo. You look at all his fights with even Henry Cejudo. It's the same thing. I can take the people out of that fight and put a different person in there, and it's immediately the exact same Merab, which is not bad because that's showing he is very consistent with the style that he implements when he fights people. Now, let us throw in Umar Nurmagomedov, who is also a good wrestler, who's also very good on the feet. Can we see Umar Nurmagomedov get out wrestled by Merab? Yes, I feel we can see that just because Merab has shown consistently over in all his fights that he out wrestles people and he outworks people. The one thing we have not seen from Umar Nurmagomedov is him be tested by somebody like Merab. Merab's journey to the title has been way more treacherous, meaning he's been fighting ex-champion Henry Cejudo, a double champ, and Olympic gold medalist. Jose Aldo, former featherweight champion. He's beat Peter Yan, former bantamweight champion. And I mean, the list just goes on. When you look at Umar, he hasn't really fought that type of caliber. But the one thing that Umar has in his back pocket is the training that he's done. And he's also undefeated. And he's also fought Corey Sandhagen, where I feel Corey Sandhagen is a very, very good athlete in that division. So when you look at the keys to victory, what these two guys got to do in order to get this victory is, we're gonna start with Merab. Merab has got to push the pace. If Merab does not push the pace, he could fall behind on the scorecard and lose a split decision or unanimous decision. Because I do feel that, and I think Merab would agree with me, that Umar might be better on the feet and striking. But the one thing that that Merab does very well is that Merab is very good about mixing the fight up. When he fought Henry Cejudo, he goes, yes, Henry Cejudo is a better wrestler than me, but this is mixed martial arts. And I'm going to take him down by using my mixed martial arts style to be able to get the takedown. Now, if Henry and Merab wrestled, I think Henry would probably beat him, but it's mixed martial arts. And I feel the same thing when he goes against Umar, is that he has that gas tank and he has to be relentless with his pace. 2, don't let him get ahead of you. If Umar tries to attack you with the wrestling, you attack back. You anti-wrestle. He shoots, you sprawl, you shuck him by, you get his back. Number 3, don't be afraid of taking the fight, staying on the feet, right? Staying on their feet and trying to mix it up there, because if they know that you're gonna get the takedown, then they know they're just gonna defend the takedown. They're gonna try to pick you out apart. But those are the 3 key to victories for Merab to get the victory. Now, when we look at Umar Nurmagomedov, I feel like he's well-rounded, right? Number 1 key to victory, keep him guessing, right? You're longer than Merab. I know, because I've met Merab and I met you, and you're fucking way bigger than me. Keep him guessing. He has a way about keeping a wide stance, doing that high kick, very flashy high kick. He also fights from southpaw and orthodox. When he fought Corey Sandhagen, he was fighting in one stance, and then another round he came out in a totally different stance. 2, use your intelligence. I can tell that you're very intelligent and you know where you're strong at. And when you're grappling, when you did the grappling with Corey Sandhagen, you're attacking the right things. And you can do the exact same thing to Merab. When you guys get in that grappling exchange, you just got to make sure he attacks the right thing. I'm talking like I'm talking to them. And 3, I think this is a key victory for both these guys. Whoever wins the wrestling exchange is probably going to win this fight, right? If Umar is beating Merab on the feet and Merab tries to take him to the ground, if Merab succeeds with the takedown, Merab will probably win the fight and stay on top. If Umar is able to keep the fight on his feet and then he wins the wrestling match, Umar is going to win this fight. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to give a final prediction on this one because I don't know who's going to win this fight. But I will say this: if Umar can keep the fight on the feet and keep Merab guessing, you go with Umar. If Merab can be the machine that he is and push the pace against Umar Nurmagomedov and get the fight to the ground and pass his guard and look to submit, then I think you're better off going with Merab. So I'll let you guys make that final pick. Now, let's go to the main event. Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan. Now, this is a rematch. These guys have fought a long time ago. Now, the thing that Arman does very well is that, 1, he's very good at wrestling, and then the second thing he does very well is that he's very athletic and very flexible. If you've seen some of the videos out there of him stretching, It's absolutely crazy. And he does this beautiful axe kick where he's standing up and his knee pretty much touches his face and he's able to do an axe kick. So he's super, super athletic. And he's also grappled with some of the best in the world. You know, that video of him doing grappling against Hamzat was absolutely amazing, especially against somebody who's a lot bigger than him. But then you look at the pound for pound best fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev, submitting people in world championship fights. That's typically, you don't see that in a high level of the UFC and World Championship fight. Islam Makhachev has proven time and time again that he is the best pound for pound fighter in the world, and he can fight anywhere. He can fight on the feet, he can fight on the ground. He's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu, and he's got a clinch game. It's going to be an amazing fight. Now, let's look at the keys to victory. Now, when you look at Arman, Arman's got to not be afraid to engage in the wrestling. I always tell people, if you're fighting somebody who's good in wrestling, don't shy away from it. You have to fight them in the fire. 2, be dynamic. A lot of times when you're being dynamic, you can get away with the spinning shit and the spinning back kick and just the outlandish stuff and the super axe kicks. Doesn't hurt to try, right? You're in a 5-round fight with somebody who can do everything. So doing outlandish shit sometimes can work. 3, believe in yourself. Believe in that this is the opportunity that you're going to try to capture and nobody's going to take it away from you. A lot of people are like, that's not a key to victory. It is, because, you know, like we always say in wrestling is 25% physical, 75% mental. And I think it's the same thing with mixed martial arts. It's a very, very strong mental game. Now, when we look for the pound for pound best fighter key to victories that he needs, Islam's got to do what Islam does best. Stay on the feet if you need to, or wherever you want to go. Do not forget to use that body kick when he switches, when the matches is not mirrored. Meaning, Islam is southpaw. If Arman is Tsarukyan, he goes back and forth. If he's orthodox, you throw that fucking middle kick. If he's not, then you have to find a different angle to get your kicks off. Because I feel like it's one of the strongest weapons that Islam has is his body kick. We saw it against Volkanovski. We didn't see a lot of that body kick against Dustin Poirier because they were both southpaw. It was a mirror match. 2, don't be afraid to engage in the wrestling. Even though he's a good wrestler, you're also a phenomenal wrestler. So I almost think it's the same thing with the Merab and Umar thing too. Whoever wins in that wrestling exchange is going to have the upper hand in order to get the victory, get the W. And then 3, just do you. You're the best pound for pound fighter in the world. He can fight anywhere. He can fight on the feet. He can fight on the ground. He can fight wherever he chooses to, and I think him dictating where the fight goes is a huge key to victory. If Arman, you shoot for a takedown, he's not allowing you to get the takedown, don't waste all your energy, come up and start fighting. So who do I have winning in the main event against Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan? I'm gonna go with Islam Makhachev. I truly believe he is the best pound for pound fighter in the world right now. But you don't get the opportunity to work with him. Like, it's always cool to see somebody fight and then get the opportunity to train with them and to see how hard they train. And it's like that twice a day, every day. And are also being overseen by one of the GOATs of mixed martial arts, Habib Nurmagomedov. I just, every stone is going to be covered. All their T's are going to be crossed. All their I's are going to be dotted. It's going to be capitalized. I don't feel like they've missed anything in this training camp, and they have everything dialed in. And I think Islam Makhachev is on a mission to be submitted as one of the best to ever do it in mixed martial arts. So boys, if you guys enjoyed this breakdown, please leave a like, subscribe, also hit the bell to when we go live, and please let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of my picks. You know, I can't get them right all the time. I don't have a crystal ball. If I did, I think all of us would be cashing out in the bank, but unfortunately I don't. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, and we will see you guys here Saturday night as we'll do the live instant reaction of UFC 311 and Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan. We will see you beautiful people at the next video.